In this video, I will be speaking about the calendar options for the 2023-2024 school year at Basin School District. There are three main models. The 4-day model has 4-day weeks for the entire year with a somewhat extended school year and slightly extended day. The 5 then 4 switch starts the school year with full weeks and switches to 4-day weeks after Thanksgiving with somewhat extended days and year. And the 5-day model is similar to this current year's calendar with in-services built in and late start Wednesdays. Keep in mind that the two 4-day model or hybrid calendars would work similarly whether you take off Monday or Friday. That is a separate issue that will be considered in a later slide. Let's get into it. This is a full 4-day calendar. In this particular one, you can see that Fridays are the day off. The school year starts August 14th. On those off Fridays, there are in-services built in. Thanksgiving break is a full week. Christmas break takes off the 21st as a early release, the 22nd, and then the following 2 weeks into January. Note that on Friday off calendars, if their Monday is a holiday, school is in session on that Friday. Spring break, as usual, and the school year ends May 6th with in-service to follow in the yellow there. This calendar is essentially the same, with the only change being Mondays as the off day. That means when a holiday falls on a Monday, it doesn't change the pattern in this situation. We also have a slightly longer school year with June 7th instead of the 6th. Our next model this is a hybrid of a 4-day model and a 5-day model. The school year starts August 22nd, and we get into 5-day weeks with one in-service a month in September and October. We have Elk Day here, and Thanksgiving break is a full week. At the end of Thanksgiving break, the model then switches to 4-day weeks. In this particular one, it's Mondays, but again, not much of a significant difference. Christmas is about the same. You have spring break, and then the year ends again on June 6th. This is that same calendar, what it would look like with Fridays being the day off once the switch happens. Lastly, we have the traditional calendar. This is similar to what we have this year. The school year starts on August 24th. We have built-in in-services once a month. A Thanksgiving break, in-service on Elk Day. The winter break starts on an early release on the 22nd. Everything else, spring break, Christmas break, pretty much what we're used to. And the school year would end May 30th in this model. Now I'm going to break out some of the comparisons for you. For the length of year, the traditional calendar has the shortest, what we're used to currently with a start date of August 24th, an end date of May 30th. The 5-4 switch has a slightly longer school year, about a week longer by going into June. And the 4-day model has about 2 weeks or 12 days, a little bit earlier in August, a little bit later in June. For the length of day, what we were calculating is that the traditional 5-day week has the same approximate hours that we currently have. The 5 then 4 switch is extended to 3:31. And the 4-day model is also extended slightly to 3:28. And that's really a matter of balancing instructional time with the length of school day. And you'll see that coming up here with contact hours. The 5 then 4 switch has more comparable contact hours because of that slightly extended day. So even though the contact days are significantly less, the hours are not that far off from what we currently have. With the 4-day model, you get fewer days and fewer contact hours without an extended day. One big consideration for the high school especially is the semester balance. We need to end the semester before Christmas break and give somewhat balanced time to semester 1 and semester 2. The 4-day model makes that difficult without extending really far into August. The 5 then 4 switch has a more balanced semester 1 and semester 2. And then the 5-day week is not necessarily balanced, but there are more days in semester 1, which is helpful. For snow days, that was calculated to 3 days in the 4-day model, 4 days in the 5 then 4, and then 9 days in the 5-day week. And there is some wiggle room with those. For instance, if we went over our allotted snow days in a 4-day model or a 5-4 switch, we would just attend school on one of the days when we normally would have in-service. The holidays and breaks, there aren't any major differences between these calendars except for Elk Day. On a 4-day model, it didn't make sense to have a break in the middle of the week when we're already having 4-day weeks. Some pros and cons that were gathered from the community. I'm just going to go over kind of generally here, but a 4-day week, some pros are this is what the community has been asking for a few years now. People want more family time. There is a serious issue with teacher burnout and the need for recruitment, retention of staff. We want to make it a little bit easier to hire, especially from areas like the Valley where people would be commuting. Some cons of a 4-day week, you have less contact days and hours. It does lengthen the school year. It could be a longer day, somewhat longer day. You could also have some childcare or academic impacts for our students and our families. I'm going to switch over here to the 5-day week. Excuse me. Some pros are that it's not a change. People are used to it, and some people feel like it's working. There is less of a need for daycare. It's not an extended year or day. There is a potential for it being easier for sports practices, easier snow days. Some cons are that there is less prep time, less teacher planning days, less of that family time that has been asked of. We have less breaks. We're experiencing a lot of staff burnout and the travel time and expenses of commuting from the Valley. The 5 then 4 is, again, it's a bit of a compromise between either of these. So the pros are that it starts strong in August with a typical August start time, 5-day weeks. You have Elk Day off and your regular breaks. There are more balanced semesters, so it's a little bit closer for semester 1 and semester 2. It allows for some tutoring days in the second semester. As we move into the 4-day weeks, we could have tutoring Fridays. And there's more time for families and staff when that switch happens. Some cons of this is that it is unusual, so it could be confusing. There are 3 months that would be 5-day weeks and 6 months that would be 4-day weeks. Seniors would have a smaller buffer, so if something were to go wrong and we needed additional days, we would have to schedule those for seniors. It could be a potentially longer day for classified staff and childcare issues again. Separate from the model discussion is also the discussion of if there is a 4-day week of any kind, do you take off Mondays or do you take off Fridays? And there are definitely strong feelings on both sides of this discussion. So for Mondays off, some pros that we've heard are that there could be easier to schedule some doctor's appointments. Most of the holidays are already on Mondays, so it's consistent. And if you have a Monday off and you go to Boise, there could be smaller crowds, there could be discounted prices. Some cons are getting students to the athletic practices that they need to. There's trouble with families who are traveling. Most people take Fridays off when they want to travel. So some pros, there are a lot of games on Fridays. So students who are in athletics wouldn't miss as much instructional time if they're traveling on Fridays, which are already an off day. Many students and employees take Fridays off of school for various reasons, and it's hard to get subs to come in on Fridays. This could result in a 4-day weekends a few times a year. So for instance, for President's Day, you would have Monday off. The week before that, you would have the Friday off, and that would result in a 4-day weekend. The con is that with those Mondays that are on Fridays, you would have to switch. So let me show you what that looks like. Wrong calendar. So on January 15th, there's a holiday. So on that Friday the 19th, students would be in school. So there's that swap, which again results in a 4-day weekend if you have the 12th, 13th, 14th, and 15th, which could allow for some travel time. So just depends on how you look at things. With the Monday-Friday debate, it really is about perspective, but we want to hear from you. What is your preferred calendar model? And would you take a Monday or a Friday if a 4-day week of any kind is adopted? Thank you for watching this, and thank you for your input.